So I'll tell you about my story with my sexy girlfriend this weekend. But first, I want to talk a little bit about COVID. COVID. The reason all of our rights are being taken away, the reason we're being enslaved. And it was fun talking to somebody today. They said, Ryan, you're so confused. You're so lost. Stop talking about masks, for goodness sake. You're on the wrong track. And I appreciate it. It was a friend who hadn't talked to me in 4 years, and he reached out just to tell me I was wrong. Thank you, my friend. He says, well, before I unfriend you on Facebook, I thought I would do that. And I'm thinking, what does Facebook do to us? We're revealing all of our personal desires, fantasies, feelings, our impressions of who we think we should be. All of that is coming out on Facebook, but how much of that is actually the real experience of being with another person? So if I was with any of these people in any setting, we'd get along, we'd like each other, and there'd be no problem. However, would I be wearing a mask, and how would they respond to it? So many people, because these riots are happening, because Black Lives Matter, because COVID, their complete plans, directions, goals, everything is switching, everything is transforming, and they are completely different people. And it's such a weird thing to watch. Well, now I'm part of the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, you weren't 2 months ago. So what changed? Riots in the streets, breaking and destroying things? Are you a part of that movement because of fear or because you honestly believe in its ideals? And as I'm arguing with people about masks, about the science behind them, everything else, it's obvious to me it has nothing to do with safety. First of all, you can't catch a virus, which is where it all starts. Second of all, because the COVID situation doesn't fulfill any of Koch's postulates, and everyone knows who's deeply into it that that's nonsense. But let's start with that. Suppose you could catch a virus. Does it help to wear masks? Well, masks are like a chain link fence against a dust storm. Are you going to stop that? Now you breathe out in 4 directions instead of 1. Is that much better? I feel bad because ODD reached out to me the other day, and ODD is a rockin' dude. He's really one of my heroes, one of the guys who talks about flat earth more than anybody else. And he said, good work, I love what you're doing. And he inspired me so much that I stopped making videos. Well, my assistant had some issues. I had some issues anyway. I haven't made videos in a long time. But the first question is, are masks useful, or can they even be harmful? Many people claim they can be harmful. Their videos are censored, taken down, and so people get one side of the story. So what do you think? Is censorship a good thing? Should it exist? Should we filter for the information which we should receive? Who gets to decide that? How do they decide that? Are they allowed to decide that? Is that what we want? Do we want dangerous ideas being kept from us? The American people and all the peoples of the Western world are treated like little children. All the ideas that could help them and save them are held at bay, and those ideas that have gotten out, such as the Bible, have been so watered down that they're practically useless now. Not that I'm a fan of the entire Bible. I'm talking about Jesus specifically. And so they think they know everything while they're watching the news. He tells me John Stossel did something about this. Stephen Colbert did something about this. Dude, all these people are dead to me. I told my dearly beloved slave, I said, stop watching TV. Stop watching the news. She says, I love the news. It's my favorite thing. I said, it will kill you. It literally will. It'll inculcate you. It will inoculate you with fear and lack and scarcity. And then you will manifest that in your life, and you will think, crap, that's not what I wanted to manifest in my life. If we want to manifest beautiful things in our lives, pleasure, connection, love, intimacy, then we should be imbibing all those things into us, receiving them, purifying ourselves, not watching the news. If you're watching the news, it's already over, because the first question after you decide not to wear the mask is, should we attack people, beat them up, violate them, be violent toward them for not wearing masks? And that's a good question. Should we harm people for not wearing masks? Should we beat them, imprison them? And then the question is going to be, do we do the same for vaccines? And the next question is going to be, do we do the same thing for the microchip, which is going to be implanted so that we know whether you've taken your vaccine or not and you're dangerous to society or not? again, the logical response is, well, if you have the vaccine, it shouldn't matter what I do. But see, we've gotten to this place where you don't get to do things that have no influence on other people. And the morality comes not from thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. It comes from you should do the things which the prevailing narrative tells you should. For example, you need to support Black Lives Matter. You need to wear a mask. And all the other opinions are shouted down. I am very happy, however, to have a couple new Flat Earth converts. We had a Flat Earth meeting this weekend. We had 2 new people there, and it seems that a couple of them said, hey, I believe. In fact, my dear friend Amy, she said, I believe I'm a convert. And she said, not because I want to please you, because we are deeply connected, but she said because it's the truth. And she says, I find it's crazy to look at all the anti-flat earth content and hear people say how dangerous it is not to believe in science. In that, she said that is absolutely crazy to see the censorship and the hiding of it. Yes, why do they censor things? Why do they hide things? Because they're lies and ridiculous? Or do you think if you allow people to speak their uncomfortable lies in public or their unpopular views, that everyone will suddenly follow them and do what they say? Is that how stupid everyone is? Well, everything is being extremely, extremely censored now, and what can we trust besides our own senses? That's what it comes down to. He that hath ears, let him hear. He that hath eyes to see, let him see. And that's the question. If there were no TV, what would COVID have done in your life? I know no one who's been infected. I know of no one who's been in the hospital. I know of no one who's died. And my father had a stroke in the same time, and his care was probably substandard because of COVID going on and how they're shutting down the hospitals and how they're emergencying everything. So I have some ideas for some commercials. I want to say, hey, are you looking for bacterial and fungal infections? Do you want to breathe stale air all day? In that case, get a mask. The other one is, do you hate oxygen? Do you prefer CO2? Do you identify as a plant? Do I have a solution for you? I feel like I should approach these things with more humor and elan and not so much intensity. But for both sides, it feels like it's life and death. And that's going to pit both sides on each other. And there are already people who have been stabbed. There are already people who have been shot over wearing masks. So so the Second American Civil War is already happening. And it's already turned into a hot war. And it will continue probably until there's full-out bloody fighting. And there's going to be an entire class of second-class citizens, the non-mask wearers, the people who make everyone sick. And then there's going to be the virtuous many who, like the members of the National Socialist Party, will say how they're saving saving the United States by virtue of their virtue. Pulling us together, doing the right thing while everybody else is these selfish jerks who won't follow. And why do they believe what they believe? Well, because of what the media says. But that gets me back to the very bottom topic that I discussed previously, and that is, this is a spiritual movement. This is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual war. It's not about a mask. It's not about Black Lives Matter. It's about how do we get people who previously were virtuous to excuse violence or perform it themselves in the name of some higher good. No matter what I think, no matter whether I think it's useful or good or best for someone to do something, if they're not actually harming someone right now in the moment, and I'm sorry, non-mask wearers do not harm people by not wearing masks. And even if they did, it's not your right to try to force them to do so. Although, sure, private places can make whatever rules they want, but they would not have made these rules without government edicts. Anyway, I had an article from Utah, and that is someone smashed a cart into someone else for not wearing a mask. You don't know what their exceptions are. You don't know what their health issues are. You don't know what their challenges are. When should you wear a mask with asthma, emphysema, tuberculosis, or maybe as someone else I know, because you were raped by someone wearing a mask, and now it's traumatic for you to see masks, much less wear them? Do you want to ban these people from society? Do you want to tell them they can never go to the store again? What is your solution? I posted another article. 2 children died wearing masks, apparently N95 masks, while doing strenuous physical activity. Nobody knows exactly the story or what happened, but nobody knows what's going on here. Nobody knows what happens if you put cloth masks or silk masks or masks with holes or masks with no holes or N95 masks or other masks on children as young as 3 all day long. They're saying all the kids have to wear masks that go to school, but there were protests in Salt Lake where 150 people showed up and said, my kid isn't wearing a mask in school. There's going to become an entire separate class of citizens. And we are going to have to connect and bond together and actually become vulnerable and love one another if we're going to get through this time. This is not a time to board up your windows and seek to be alone and think you can just survive this. They're talking about people wearing masks for years or until they're vaccinated, and they're not kidding about that. They're not joking around. They're not messing about. If you think you're just going to be able to kind of survive it or just ignore it, that's over. Everybody gets to pick sides now, and everybody decides what sides they're on. And unfortunately, I'm losing some people I really loved to the sides that I feel is anti-freedom, anti-love, and even anti-health. Go check out the videos I made about COVID and see whether you think they're fitting or not. All right, that's enough about that. I said my beloved. So what we did together is when a woman comes together with a man, she is looking for a particular energetic space of safety with him. And this is really interesting to study and observe and go into. And what I found was I did a completely new ritual with her to create safety and encourage surrender. I've never done it before. It was really powerful. If you're interested in it, let me know, and I will create a little tutorial about it. But the way men and women in relationships are going, now with isolation, even worse, we definitely have to change things. And we had such a beautiful, beautiful healing time together, even though a lot came up, and it wasn't without its bumps and bruises, but it was just beautiful and fantastic. And I will keep you updated if that interests you. All my love. See you later. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you like this. So many people talk to me about my content, and they say, well, I love that thing you wrote about that, and I love that thing you wrote about that. But I never hear about it, and I never know about it because they never tell me. So please like and subscribe and comment so I know if I should keep doing this and how I should do it. I'm enjoying it. Love you. Bye.